Good morning, family. Hopefully everybody's having a great day. It's Monday. The weather's nice and cool. It's supposed to warm up later. I guess fall is finally trying to act like we're in fall right now because summer was trying to hold on harder than, Drake has been holding on to making good music. But anyways, I digress. Yeah, it's a shot to Drake. I never was a Drake fan. I like a couple of his songs, but mostly it was features and whatnot. The real artist, rapper from Toronto that I always recognize from my generation is Cardinal Official. If you don't know who that is, that's who you need to check out because that's a real Toronto artist. But I'll leave it at that. He's the one that really put the T Dot on the map. But I'll leave it at that because he comes from the streets of T Dot, not from the spoiled baby brat generation of the T-Dot, but I'm gonna leave it at that. And I can stand on that because I've been to Toronto and I loved it. Toronto's a very nice city. Canada's a very nice country. Drake is just a bam. But anyways, it is what it is. But yeah, it's a nice day. A little cold. You know, um, see autumn and all that good stuff. You know, I just had to run an errand. It's like the one upside of working from home is that you get to be out with most people at the job. So, and therefore it's less traffic and things of that nature. So I do love that. But anyways, I'm just making this live because I'm just trying to, me. If you see my videos, I miss to share positive vibes, give some good information if necessary, but just to give out some good vibes because, like I said, we live in a time where everybody just wants to be Mr. and Mrs. Negativity. There was a song by this artist named Esham, who's a Detroit rapper, and he called himself Mr. Negativity. But at least he was honest about who he is. I always say honesty is the best medicine. That's the beautiful thing about the internet age. There was a quote from a movie called the Internship, and it was with Vince Vaughn and Owen Wilson, and they were salespeople that used to sell watches and things of that nature. And they joined a internship at Google to have a life change / career change. Long story short, Owen Wilson's character said, Google is basically ruined the way that I can actually BS people on a regular basis because when I start talking my nonsense, it sounds good, but then people can actually look it up and just clarify if I'm full of it or not. And my mindset is that's the beautiful thing about the internet age is like, hey, be who you are, stand on who you are, be proud of who you are, no matter what situation you're in this life, as long as you're not homeless, because even then it's like, when I say be proud of who you are, I'm talking about be proud, as long as you're not homeless, a rapist, or a killer, or a child molester. Let me clarify things. But if you're a decent person, be proud of who you are, stand on who you are, and everybody, including myself, there's always room for self-improvement. Nobody's above that. Whether it's the information that we ingest, comes to the food and beverages that we consume, comes to the jobs or businesses that we have, where we live at, the car that we drive. The car and the house is so very superficial. So let me scratch that because my mindset is if your car gets you to point A to B, it's a good car. If your house is comfortable for you to live in, it's a good home, no matter what the size of that home is. It's like more and more of us our people are trying to get away from that whole superficial lifestyle. I mean, that's why if you even look at construction in most, major metropolitan areas, they're not building as many single family homes as they used to. They're building mostly townhomes and apartments / condominiums and whatnot, because they know that this is the generation of, especially like I said, millennial generation, my generation, the 80s babies. We are the, what is that term that I remember hearing at a TED Talk? We are the minimalist generation. Dang, I haven't said that word in a long time. But if you ever look up a TED Talk, look up 2 TED Talks. The minimalist one talking about I have all this stuff and it's a waste of it's just collecting dust and there's no point in me keeping it. And because people live in smaller facilities, homes nowadays, people will still utilize public storage facilities. So therefore, you're making public storage facilities a lot of money because you're holding on to a lot of things that might hold some value to you or some sentimental value to you in some aspect, in some way. But do you really need it? Donate it, sell it, throw it away, whatever the case may be. Do you really need this stuff? Are you really clinging on to things? That's the beautiful thing about the digital age. We can hold on to more digital products than we can hold on to physical products. So it takes less space. It might take more space on our phone in our hard drive, shared drive, but it takes less space in our lives and whatnot. So it allows us to fill physical things in our lives that matter. And the physical things in our life that matter can be your family members, children, significant other. For me, it's my pets. Things that matter, the things that hold real value to you, because that's the thing. There's two types of value, in my personal opinion. There's a value that's going to make you money, and then there's the value that's going to bring happiness and joy to you. Try to make as many things in your life, because you can't make everything in your life the same, but try to make as many of those things in your life one and the same. Okay, because I hold the same value of the stocks that I buy, or the properties I purchase, or the products I sell, to the same value that I hold of being able to say hello to my mother and say, be with my dog Max, who I'm about to get back to. Those things matter the most. Okay, everything else is superficial. You know, a job is a job. Do the best job that you can, but remember, a job stands for just over broke if you don't know how to make money in your sleep. Meaning you're not making money via an investment or some sort of asset class or business. All right. Any job, and employers know this. Employers will tell you this. Hey, we're expendable. Everybody. Nothing wrong with that. That's why you have backup plans. You know, that's why you ensure that, you know, you're making money on the side. That's why you ensure, like, hey, if the economy goes in the tank, what do I have as a backup plan? Like one of my friends, he's in the military. He's a reservist. And he does Uber and Grubhub on the side. So he has backup plans in case a situation happens with his job. Like, great example, when there was a government shutdown, because he works at the Department of Homeland Security, he, you know, he wasn't able, I think it was like almost a month, he wasn't getting paid. But what was he doing full time? He was doing Uber. Yeah, it's an internet connection issue. But anyways, so after the 4 weeks of that month, 2 weeks he was doing Grubhub full time. Uber full time, Grubhub part time at night in the evening. Plus, he was he was about to get a part time job at the gym that he goes to, so he had that in the works. So he saw now hiring signs. So it was like, hey, you guys need. They was like, you want to work here? And he was like, yeah, you know, hey, you guys got part time work, I'll do it. So that was the third option. But then he's like, oh yeah, I got to do my 2-week reserve duty. He's like, okay. So when they called him, he did the interview. He's like, okay, I got to do my reserve duty. If you guys can hold off, I can start when I get back. So luckily, when he got back, by that time, the government opened up again. I'm not coming at this from any negative or political standpoint. I don't do politics. I do economics. I'm just telling the story of a friend of mine from LA. And he's like, okay, cool. So the moral of the story is, as an employee, he had a backup plan. He's not even a business owner, but he had backup plans because he knew he had obligations to his family and he had obligations for himself from an economic standpoint. So he had all these backup plans and it worked out for him in a beautiful way. So that's what I'm saying. Okay, he had backup plans because he knows that throughout life, because there was a time when he almost was homeless, and when he got back on his feet, he was actually renting somebody's couch. He knew that throughout his whole life that, hey, you have to have backup plans because you never know when something might dry up due to not being your fault. You know, like another person that I know, he worked 2 jobs. He had a medical issue, and he was able to get put on short-term disability for his one job. So he had to supplement some income. He wasn't able to make the amount of money he was making with his second job. But at the end of the day, he was able to still get his full-time income as he was recovering from a medical issue. Okay. So, and he has savings and he has investments. So backup plans. That's the moral of this rant, is to have as many backup plans as you're able to, is whatever you're capable of doing. Because in this life, you just never know when something's going to happen. All right. So have a great week. I wish it was the weekend again. Have a great week. Have a blessed day. Do the great 3 things, like, share, and subscribe. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube, Larry's Anything Goes LLC. And as I always say, make money move so you're going to live like a fool. Take care, family.